So that brings us to the end of the game. Very, very short fan cam today. I told you it would be difficult. We got held in for an hour after the game. As you can see there, all the Manchester United fans have been ushered onto these buses very, very promptly by the police so they can get off and get a police escort back to their various hotels and stuff like that. So that's just to give you an indication of how difficult it is to bring you guys content from here in these types of places. Listen, I'll go straight into it. I don't want to put a dampener on it, to be honest, but I got hit by a bottle. I got hit by a bottle. I'm laughing because it didn't hurt, luckily. But first minute of the game, I was standing there and a bottle comes flying over, hit me right in the side of the face. Some of their fans were throwing coins as well. It was a super, super hostile atmosphere. So the ultras that I met earlier that were really kind to me, they forgot to tell me that that's what it would be like when match day starts. But I did say that the match hadn't started yet. So that's the little dampener on it. There was no racism or anything like that. I didn't hear any chanting or anything like that. It was just hostility, very, very hostile atmosphere. And that brings us to the game. I thought we'd done quite well in this first sort of 15, 20 minutes. Not in terms of putting Partizan under pressure, but just trying to settle down and keep the ball. But I have to say that Partizan, they're a poor team, and I think we're lucky that they're a poor team. Now, they had a number 9 up front who was an awful version of Lukaku. His touch was bouncing everywhere, and we just made him look like flipping prime Drogba, if I'm honest with you. No shots in 90 minutes on target. And I'm going to do a bit of a shit sandwich. I'm going to start with the negatives and then find the very few positives that there was. Same theme. Common theme. I thought we were boring. I thought we were lethargic. And even when we were kind of, I say dominant in possession without actually penetrating and creating chances, we allowed them back in. We allowed them midway through that first half. I sort of thought we were allowing Partizan to gain in confidence, and that's when their number 9, he hit the post. Romero rooted to the spot, he was nowhere near it. Another one of their midfielders had a shot that went wide, and this is just before we got that penalty. And into the penalty, young Brandon Williams, man of the match, by the way, and I'll talk about him. Fantastic. He was up and down all night, gave a very good account of himself. He did okay against AZ Alkmaar as well, and he's really given the food for thought in that position, what he couldn't do anymore, and he bombed forward and got the penalty. I have to say we were absolutely miles away in the away end. You can't see a damn thing from there. So I haven't seen whether it was or wasn't a penalty. I'm not interested, but his willingness to get forward was there where he could, and Martial sticks it away. So the goal kind of came against the run of play at that precise moment because, like I said, Partizan were building in confidence and they were coming stronger, obviously hitting the bar, and that kind of took the stuffing out of Partizan. But we're going 1-0, and it's the same thing, this 1-0 at half-time scoreline. But this is a very poor side. You know, this isn't Arsenal at home. This isn't Liverpool. This isn't Leicester. This is Partizan, and you could see for large parts of that half that they were a poor side. Second half, nothing. I saw Mata pretty much do nothing. I saw Lingard pretty much doing nothing. The subs that Oli made, I thought it was good that he made them early. Martial, definitely, we don't need to be playing him for 90 minutes. I did say in the road trip video at the beginning of the day that I want to see Martial either come on for the last 20 or play sort of maybe the first 60 minutes or something like that. And that's what we saw. That was the right thing to do. But when he took off Wan-Bissaka and he brought on, obviously, Danny James in there, that was okay. That was positive. But Mata, for me, I think he was struggling. And I think if Mata was going to be playing more games for us, I don't think he would have lasted. But I think it's in Solskjaer's thinking, Mata's not going to play for us in the Premier League a lot. He's not. He's not going to be starting against Norwich, and I think he's trying to keep players fresh. You know, I thought Maguire, I don't think he was great. There was a couple of times he got put on toast by. They had a little winger. He was very skillful, causing lots of trouble. Again, no end product because again the lack of quality. That's what helped us in the end. Had Harry Maguire on toast, so he didn't do too well. Rojo, he did what he needed to do. James Garner, I thought he did okay. The game passed him by, he gave away a few balls, but he was trying. But fantastic for him to get a performance. And this is me going into the positives. The only 2 positives from it were we finally won a game, which feels so weird. Off they go. It feels weird to actually win a game like away from home. I've forgotten what the feeling's like. Although this is a massive contrast compared to how we won against PSG. Came out the ground buzzing. It's flat here, absolutely flat, and it's kind of embarrassing, man, because we're not seeing any progression on the pitch. We're winning a game away from home, which in the context of this group is a great result. 1-0 away from home. You get out unscathed, no injuries, and a clean sheet, and you go home. That's how we should be looking at this. But in fact, I think as Man United fans right now, yes, we can have that. And like I said, in the context of the Europa League, that's great. You have to win your games, and especially just don't lose when you come to places like this. So box that up and put it on the side. But if you're looking at it in the context of where we are as a team right now, it's like it doesn't have the desired effect. It's like we're supposed to win games like that. You're supposed to win games like that and come out feeling confident, kick on to the next, you've done your job, but it doesn't feel like that. The fans that I were speaking to, because we was held in there for an hour, they didn't feel like we was going to turn a corner. I haven't heard all these press conferences, but I'm almost sure it will be along the lines of the boys fought really well. We tried to create. It's our first win on the road for a long time. He was homing on those positives, and I expect him to do that. But deep down, they can't be too much positivity with the way we're playing. That was far from convincing. We were lucky, if you think about it, because I think Romero made another save in the second half as well. And their keeper didn't have to work. He didn't have to make one save in 90 minutes. Not a shot on target in 90 minutes. And that is a common theme throughout this side. I keep saying it in every... I think I'm just going to... You know what? I'm going to keep making sure I say this. I could just leave it on a green screen and just keep doing the same match reaction. I'm going to keep saying that in every match reaction until you guys keep getting bored of it and saying, Flex, beg you just stop saying that. Because it is literally so true. That's how poor we are at the moment. But hey, we have won the game. It does feel good because it's 3 points as well in the context of the group, and finally a win away from home. But like I said, man, it's all about Norwich. This formation, is Ollie going to roll out with that? What worries me with playing the 5 across the back is I think we're only set up not to lose doing that. I don't see us creating any more chances from doing it. I don't see us putting teams under sustained pressure from doing it. I just don't see it. So for me, we're going to have to try and break Norwich down. It's the application. I don't mind the formation. Like I said, Chelsea won Premier League with Conte with that same formation. There's no problem with it. It's the application of it. And I'm not seeing it being applied in the right way to put teams under sustained pressure. But we'll see. We go on to Norwich, and like I said, 3 points is a must. Will we take a 1-0 win with a penalty and get the 3 points? Absolutely, because we're desperate. We're desperate. Right now, I think Ollie just needs any form of wins, any positive results, just to ease that pressure and give himself some breathing room. And if that's the turning point to do that and go on to a couple of 1-0s away from home, then absolutely we'll take it. But it's not filling us with confidence, because you go to Norwich where they're going to be all over you. They're going to be having chances. The next game after that is Bournemouth away. Well, the next one's, I think, Chelsea away, actually, in the Carabao Cup. But if you're talking league, Bournemouth away after that, they're going to be at it. It's not going to be enough to play the way we're playing against these teams. We know it. This is a very, very poor Partizan side, and I think that's what helped us. To finish off on the positive, Brandon Williams, hats off to you, my man in the match. I'll give him an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9, considering, and I said to the guy next to me, it's only played a couple of games for us in the first team, but the games that he's playing are difficult games to come and have a good game. Away at Alkmaar, tough place to go. Away at Partizan, hostile place, and he's holding his own. So why does he not get a chance at home to Brighton or at home to Bournemouth? Or do you know what I mean? Give him a game at Old Trafford. Let the kid play. I think he did come on against Rochdale, or did he start against Rochdale? I think he came on against Rochdale. I can't remember, but yeah, that's definitely a bright spark. Shouts out to Jimmy Garner getting a start. He didn't light it up. I don't think he had an amazing game, but he did okay and came through unscathed. And Martial on the score sheet, he did look very rusty. His movement wasn't there. He did look like a player who'd been out for some time. But he took the penalty well, dispatched it well. And to be fair, when we haven't been scoring a lot of penalties recently, it was vital that he stuck that away, and he did, and that's what gave us the 3 points. And Romero, when called into action, I think he did okay as well. So not too much more positives from that. We roll on to Norwich. Like I said, just to finish off, it was proper hostile in there. I've never experienced anything like it. There wasn't like loads of violence and stuff like that, but the missile throwing was definitely a problem for about 10-15 minutes. Throwing lighters, throwing coins, and like I said, I got hit by a bottle literally the first couple of minutes of the game. That's not all of the fans. That's not all of Serbia. Overall, well, you guys will see in the vlog, which you're going to check out. I'll save it for that. But it's been a great trip out here. It's been really, an eye-opener, and I'm glad. Yes, there's only 2 fan cams, but that just shows how difficult it is in this environment to cover these tough European games away, and we're not going to shy away from doing that. And the game's ended, and we're talking about the football. Like I said, if we played badly, I wanted to talk about how badly we played, or how great we played, or how bad or good Partizan was. I want to talk about the game, and that's what I've been able to do, because it wasn't overshadowed by racism or chanting or fights breaking out. Yes, a few incidents in the crowd of throwing stuff and taunting. I don't want to normalise that, because that's not normal. Getting struck in the face is not good. But other than that, I think what everyone was talking about before the game, it certainly wasn't that. So my man of the match is Brandon Williams. We roll on to Norwich. Peace.